Sports-related medical bills, scholarship-ending injuries, and poor graduation rates are just some of the long-time issues facing student athletes. Founded in January of 2014, the College Athletic Players Association was formed in order to protect the basic rights of and provide a voice to today's student athletes. I'm Jenny Johnson for Comcast Newsmakers at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics at St. Anselm College. Luke Bonner, one of the founding members of the College Athletic Players Association, is my guest. Luke, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Now, how did you get involved with student athletic players' rights issues?
Well, I've always been involved with the NCAA, exposed at an early age. You know, starting in 6th grade, my brother was a Division I basketball player. My sister played Division I college basketball. And then I played myself first at West Virginia, then I transferred to UMass. And while at UMass, I was in the sport management department, and I started to learn a little bit more about the NCAA and how it works, and sort of got really interested in this players' rights issue. And I got connected with Ramogi Huma while I was there, who's the real head figure of CAPA. And ever since then, I've sort of stayed in contact, and I'm fortunate to be involved with the College Athlete Players Association as like a volunteer. It's something I'm able to do on the side as a passion project, and I'm excited to be on the right side of history.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the College Athletic Players Association. Why is there a need for such an act?
Well, currently there's no sort of representation from the players in terms of how NCAA rules are made, and in terms of the terms and conditions of what they're doing there. So everything from healthcare to concussion reform to parking on campus. I remember getting my car towed from practice at 6 a.m. Stuff like that. But so there's really no legitimate voice for the players right now.
Luke, where do the college athletes' rights stand?
Well, this past winter, the Northwestern University football team made a historic move contesting that they are employees of the university and that a scholarship equals compensation. And it was decided that they are, and that decision is currently being appealed. And if that decision is upheld, then Northwestern could potentially have the first players union at their university, where they would be able to collectively bargain with the university.
And what would that ruling mean?
I mean, it would mean that they would be able to, negotiate over things like, healthcare, like if workers' comp, if they're injured on the field, like what happens, maybe guaranteed 4-year scholarships, or if you leave early, can you come back and extend those scholarships? Proper, concussion reform and policy around that. It's a lot of really basic things. A lot of people jump to pay for play, and that certainly could be a result of that. But we're really starting with the most basic, rights that any employee deserves. The
most important right. So if the student athletes are employees, is there a fear that the players would be taxed on their scholarships?
That's a common misconception, actually. That's something that gets brought up a lot. We actually have a letter from the IRS saying that they would they're not going to change the way they treat scholarships, and there's long-standing history behind that.
So that won't really affect it. So what are some of CAPA's goals moving forward?
Honestly, a lot of them are pretty basic. A lot of people get scared about, you can't just go pay these football players hundreds of thousands of dollars, all this stuff. Like, what about the rowing team? What about the tennis team? But that's not really what we're saying here. We're saying that these guys deserve the right to, negotiate over there's a lot of very basic things that aren't guaranteed right now. 4-year scholarships guaranteed, health care, health coverage throughout your 4 years. I remember getting injured, and it's like my parents' insurance, is covering a lot of those things. There's a lot of really basic stuff. And sure, if it's if you're a team that's making a lot of money, then you very well deserve your cut.
All right, well, Luke, thanks a lot for sharing a little bit about this with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Jenny Johnson.